This is West African Voice Network.
Many thanks for joining us on Newswave on West African Voice Network. I am Fatima Ibrahim. We'll begin today's bulletin with regional matters as Sierra Leone's Maada leads ECOWAS Chairmanship. The regional body ECOWAS has elected Sierra Leonean President Julius Maada, the new chairman of the bloc on Sunday in Abuja during the organization's 67th summit. Taking over from Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Maada praised his predecessor's efforts in promoting regional dialogue and economic stability. In his inaugural speech, he described the sub-region as being at a crossroads, citing rising insecurity, political instability, youth unrest, and economic vulnerability as pressing regional concerns. Maada outlined 4 key priorities for his tenure, which includes restoring constitutional order and supporting democratic institutions, overhauling regional security cooperation through intelligence sharing and rapid response mechanisms, accelerating economic integration by advancing the Africa Free Trade Area and regional infrastructure, and reforming ECOWAS to make it more transparent, efficient, and responsive to citizens.
For our region, the constitutional order has been disrupted. Yet, across West Africa, citizens, especially our youth, are demanding not just elections, but accountability, transparency, and a fair stake in national life.
And over now to news in the Gambia. IMF approves $43.5 million grant to boost climate resilience. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has approved a $43.55 million grant to help the Gambia strengthen its economy against climate-related risks. The funding, part of an 18-month resilience and sustainability facility, is designed to support the country's long-term efforts to build a more sustainable and shock-resistant economy. According to a statement released by the Gambia's Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, the grant will help the country enhance its macroeconomic resilience and develop stronger policy frameworks to support sustainable growth amid climate change challenges. In addition to the RSF grant, the IMF also completed its third review of the Gambia's ongoing extended credit facility, which began in January 2024. As a result, an additional $6.95 million was unlocked, raising the total disbursement under this program to about $50.82 million since 2021. The Gambian government reaffirmed its focus on structural economic reforms aimed at encouraging inclusive growth, tackling long-standing barriers, and increasing fiscal efficiency, even as it navigates both domestic pressures and global uncertainties. And now to news in the Sahel. Mali urges global reform at OIC Summit in Istanbul. At the 51st session of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, Council of Foreign Ministers, held in Istanbul on June 21st to 22nd, Mali called for a more balanced and equitable global order. Amid ongoing global tensions and what it described as a weakening of international cooperation frameworks, Mali advocated for a system rooted in the sovereign equality of nations, non-interference, and strict adherence to international law. Representing the Malian government, Ambassador Seydou Coulibaly, Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, addressed the Council and welcomed the session's theme, the OIC in a Changing World. He underscored the scale of geopolitical disruption and criticized the ineffectiveness of global institutions in addressing interconnected global crises. In this context, Mali emphasized the importance of strengthened Islamic cooperation as a tool for rebuilding trust, addressing global inequalities, and promoting solidarity among member states. The delegation firmly rejected neocolonial approaches and the application of unilateral sanctions, calling them politically driven and unjust. Mali also spoke out against the selective use of human rights rhetoric, urging consistency and fairness in international advocacy. On regional matters, the Malian delegation reported progress in restoring state authority across previously insecure areas. It credited this improvement to increased cooperation within the Confederation of Sahel States, AES, a coalition formed in 2024 by Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, which now coordinates military and political responses to threats in the Sahel. The delegation described the shift as a conscious move away from external regionally imposed security solutions. And to development in Senegal, government and Spain strengthen air rescue cooperation with new joint agreement. In a major step towards enhancing international air rescue operations, the Dakar Coordination and Rescue Center (CCS) and the Canary Islands Rescue Coordination Center (ARCC Canaries) are set to sign a new operational agreement aimed at improving coordination in air search and rescue SAR missions. The initiative comes following joint participation in the 2025 search and rescue exercise hosted by the Spanish Air Force on Gran Canaria from June 17 to 20th. The training brought together officials from both countries to stimulate emergency response efforts and exchange expertise in area rescue operations. Representing Senegal were Lieutenant Colonel Mansour Kane, head of Dakar CCS, Chief Warrant Officer Lamine Bob, and Abi Bombaye from the National Agency for Civil Aviation and Metrology, ANASIM. The team engaged in both field exercises and strategic discussions during the event. A key outcome of the bilateral meeting was progress towards signing a memorandum of understanding between the two centers. The proposed agreement will focus on streamlining coordination, enhancing response capabilities, and facilitating joint training between the Senegalese and Spanish SAR units. Dakar CCS, which operates under the Senegalese Air Force and is overseen by ANASIM, regularly participates in international training efforts to ensure it maintains world-class readiness to interoperability with partner nations. This collaboration is part of ongoing efforts to strengthen Senegal-Spain defense cooperation and bolster emergency preparedness across the West African and Atlantic regions. And with that, we've come to the end of today's edition of Newswave on West African Voice Network. For more news from across the region and beyond, visit wavn.org. You can also stay connected with us on X, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at WAVN News, and on TikTok and YouTube at West African Voice Network. I am Fatima Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching.